Hello, everyone, and welcome to the beginning of the lecture on Chapter 2 Social Welfare Response to Human Need. I wanted to record these videos for you to highlight certain things within each chapter. They're going to be fairly informal. You may hear some outside noises. I've tried to get a quiet room here in the School of Social Work, but you might occasionally hear a noise or see me looking down at notes or things like that, but it's just going to be fairly informal. But I wanted an opportunity that as you read through the material, that I would like to draw your attention to certain things in particular. Along the way, too, I may give you suggestions for how to prepare for the quizzes, the exams, certain things that might be helpful as you study and as you prepare. But absolutely for sure, read everything in the course textbook. I think the first chapter, chapter 2, is 14 pages long, and you certainly are going to want to read everything that is in there, maybe even a couple of times. All right, let's go ahead and get started here. In chapter 2, at the very beginning, this whole chapter is talking about social welfare, a response to human need. I'd like you to think about human need in the sense of not so much, oh, that's a real needy person, we need to help them. But human need in the sense that we all have needs. There are certain basic, common human needs that we have. Some are more basic, and then some are more advanced. We all need food. We all need shelter and warmth and those types of things. And this chapter identifies those things and then poses the question, to what degree is society as a whole responsible for meeting the social welfare needs of its people? And we're going to look at some things about that. In the beginning of the chapter, you have a little section on Abraham Maslow. Those of you who are psychology majors are probably already very familiar with his work in the hierarchy of human needs. For the exam, you certainly want to know all the different levels that he has there. I think there's 5 of them. And for that matter, any time in the textbook when it says that there's 5 of these, 4 of these, you want to know all of them. In case on the quiz, it might be, well, which of the following here is not one of those things? So be sure that you always know, whenever there's a list, every one of those things and something about it. Most time, those things I've also noticed are in italics. So another tip I would give is, as you're going through each chapter, be sure you highlight, or however you make note of it, any word that's in italics, any phrase, and that you know everything about that word or phrase. The authors are trying to draw your attention to it because it's something of importance. Well, these needs begin with the physiological needs. Some of those I've already spoken about. The need for food, the need for water, for warmth, for sleep. Those things that are essential for us to continue living. Now, the next level up from that is safety needs. We need to be safe. We need to be in a secure environment. And that's another fundamental need. From there, the need to belong, or belongingness, to be part of a group that's bigger than just ourselves. The need to be loved and to love. If we have those needs met, especially the first 2 there, we can then maybe address the needs for self-esteem, the need for having respect, for having approval, for being appreciated. All those things are important to humans. And the last one that Maslow mentions is the need for self-actualization, the opportunity to fulfill one's potential. Now, unfortunately, there are many, many people in the world who will never have the opportunity to seek to have that need fulfilled. They're striving to see if they can get enough water today, or if they can get enough food, if they can survive. They're hoping that they might not be attacked and have peace and security to make it through to the next day, to the next week, to the next month. But many of us who are in this country, in the United States, We have the privilege and the honor of living in a place where people do not die out on the roads from hunger. You're not going to find someone on the sidewalk as you walk to work today or class who has died because of not being able to have food or who is frozen to death. Those basic things are being met by the society that we're in. But I think that makes it even more of a challenge for us that if we have those needs met, that we should strive to see if we can meet that need, have that need fulfilled, to find our destiny, to fulfill our potential. And we are in a unique situation to be able to do that. I might say something more about that at another time as well. When we are talking about social welfare programs, there are three main purposes for them. Again, here you go. There's a set, three. You want to know each of them and something about it. I won't necessarily go into great deal with each of these, but I want to highlight them to you. The first purpose for social programs is remediation of a social problem. That there's a problem in society, enough people are being impacted by it, that we need to do something about it. We need to help resolve it. The second one is the enhancement of social functioning. Social programs help with situations where there's not even a problem, but we want to increase people's ability to be able to function successfully in society, and to have good outcomes. Well baby clinics, things that bring parent effectiveness training, things like that to improve the quality of life. And the third purpose is the prevention of social programs. So here's where a problem doesn't even exist, and you're trying to address the underlying root causes, dealing with such things as ageism, sexism, racism, the discrimination that there is, the bigotry, trying to address those issues, bringing awareness, lobbying for better policies and better laws, and a more equitable distribution of the resources that we have in this country. Now, in addition to those three purposes, there are four goals of social programming. One is socialization, and that's to help people come to the basic accepted norms of how we interact with one another in society. You have organizations such as Scouting, the YMCA, the Boys and Girls Clubs, places where, especially when people are younger, they can learn how to socialize within this accepted norms of whatever the society has. The second one would be social integration. That's where people might need more help in terms of being able to function within society. You have things like counseling, therapy, those types of programs and services to help people. The third goal of social programming is social control. Sometimes people, for whatever reason, have to have additional services provided so that they won't be a danger to themselves or a danger to others. Here you have psychiatric hospitals and facilities, correctional facilities, but part of social programming is social control. And the fourth goal is social change. That's where it goes to trying to change the very things in society that have caused some of the problems that we see. This is done through awareness, through campaigns, through public education, and things of that nature in order to try to deal with more of the root causes of what's going on. All right, I'm going to stop at this point because I want to try to keep these pretty brief, but I'm going to do another one here in this chapter to continue on. So please tune in.